Hello, welcome to commonlawcourt.com. Today we're going to show you how to complete your birth certificate entry on the site. As you can see, this is the home page. On the home page you have a couple of options. For the birth certificate you can scroll down and there's an option here to get started. You can click on to register your birth, or what we will do is go through the main section, which is here. It's called Deeds. If you select Deeds, you will see there are 16 different categories on the site, and you can select any one of these to complete the relevant form. And if we come back up to the start here, you can see that the first one that we have is the birth certificate. Now this is required before you can complete anything else. So click on the birth certificate and then it will explain basically what you have to do. There's a brief explanation there, and if you click on the link it will send you to the appropriate form. Now, this is the birth certificate form. So all that you're actually doing here is making a declaration of your birth. And you put this onto the site. This is to publicly announce or declare that you were born and that you exist as a living man or woman, and the information is still held by yourself. You're not giving away ownership or control of it. This is used only as a record. You retain full authority. There is nothing here that you're signing to give away any consent or anything. The information is just a personal declaration. So, what we have to do first and foremost is the first field, which you can see here. You have to enter your full name. You'll notice that on some of the fields, not them all, there is a red star. This indicates that this is a required field. In this case, you have to enter your name. You're not going to enter any titles because at birth you weren't given a title. And so you only enter your birth name as it appears on the certificate that your parents lodged with the state. And the reason we do this is because we have to identify who you are with the state to confirm that you are now standing under common law. So whatever's on your birth certificate, you have to enter that name. Even if there are variations of it, such as if you've changed your name maybe later by deed poll or marriage. Bearing in mind if you're married and you're female, you would have to put in your birth name. That would be your maiden name. So again, enter the name that's on your birth certificate in full. The next field down you would enter your email address. This is for contact purposes and will also be your username for the site. And here for the next category, click on the drop-down box and select either male or female. And again here, you enter the place of birth. You just put the required country. So put the country you were born in. Over to the next field here, click on the calendar at the end, and what you're going to do is select your date of birth, which is the day, the month, then the year. You'll notice here the time of birth, but that's not a required field. If you do know the time of birth and wish to enter it, click on the clock here and enter the time. If you don't know, just leave it blank. And it doesn't really matter if you've put in a time that later turns out to be wrong. It's based on the information that you've been given and the best understanding that you have of it if you have put in a time. So what we're then going to do is we require information on your father. So put your father's full name in this field here. Although bearing in mind that some people filling in this form may not know who their father is, it's not a problem. If you are adopted or simply do not know the information, you still have to enter something in the field. So if you do not enter the name, just enter the letters N/A, which stands for not applicable. Please remember, do put something in the field, otherwise they will not accept the form. So you can either put your father's name, N/A for not applicable, or none. And again, we have your father's date of birth, day, month and year. If you don't know the information, you can just leave it blank. It's not a required field. And if it is blank on the form, we will enter NA for not applicable on your behalf. And now we have the father's address when you were born. Again, we do not want the full address for confidentiality purposes. We just need the town, the city or the village where you were born. So, for example, if you were born in London and it's asking for your father's address in London, just put London. We don't need to know the street or the number. If you wish to, you can enter a postcode. You could just put London and then the postcode in with it as well. But you do not have to put in a full address. Now, if we come down beneath that, we can see information for your mother, and similarly, we would just enter your mother's name. And again, you may not know this information, and you can just enter NA for not applicable if you do not know. And if you have the dates for your mother's date of birth, you can enter them there. Once again, it's not compulsory if you do not remember it. And similarly, your mother's address when you were born. So if you were born in London, your mother's address will obviously be London because she was with you when you were born there. So you can enter London as the city, and again, if you wish, you can enter a postcode. You do not have to have an address for her, just preferably a city, a town or a village. And again, you must fill that in because it's always required. And because you've completed this form and you're the individual submitting the information, you type in your full name here to specify that you've completed this form, and then all you do is click on the option Submit. When you click on that, you'll have submitted a declaration of your birth on the Common Law Court site. You will then receive an automated email with your birth certificate reference, and the birth certificate reference will consist of BC, which stands for birth certificate, / and then there will be 2 figures. So if you complete it now this year, it would be 22, and that means you filled in the application in the year 2022. / and then there'll be a 5 or 6 digit number, and that is your birth certificate entry. You will find that when you sign into the site and you log in, you will see that at the top right hand side, once you're signed in, you will have a dashboard, and if you click on dashboard, that's your personal account, and it will actually show you there your birth certificate reference number. Then the next thing to do would be to complete the fictitious name section, and that's to take ownership of the legal title that the state attached to you. And by taking ownership of that, it gives you full control. And when you complete that out, you will see that on the dashboard of your personal account, we always list the 2 numbers, providing you've filled out the form. So you'll have a birth certificate and a fictitious name. So, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and it was simple and straightforward to follow. And if you wish to complete any of the other forms on the site, you go to the Deeds section, and all of the forms are listed there to complete. We hope that you've found this useful, and again, please watch the similar videos in each category, and they will explain how to complete each form. Goodbye for now, and hopefully you will enjoy using the site.